Vickie Lopez saw this on the Two Fleas page. My first question is, why would they hire Shocket when there are so many other lawyers to choose from? Is this really a coincidence? Because if it is, then that would have astronomical odds. Maybe the district attorney they are suing needs to know about this. I'm sure the attorney general will find it fascinating. If this is allowed, then it shows that the courts are corrupt and working in cahoots with Randall, in my opinion. I have plenty of time to write the governor, the Florida bar, local TV stations, and anyone else who needs to know about this. This really is unbelievable. Guess this person doesn't understand that the attorney general and district attorney have nothing to do with federal court, those two, or county and state level. Not much the governor could do either, and why would he even care? Dalia Espinoza, Randy knows this case inside and out. He knows more than any lawyer about this. If they hired someone else, it would take forever to gather all the evidence against these idiots. Randy is not Jeremy's bankruptcy lawyer. Terry Lee's, Dalia Espinoza, and Randy's scope will be narrow and very specific. The trustee knows exactly what kind of people are involved in this situation. The majority of people following this incredible epic of a con are not on LP, JC, or a single member of the anti-what the Hales media ecosystem or their legal team side. Randy was chosen simply for his knowledge with the overwhelming amount of evidence and with the individuals involved. It's that simple, nothing nefarious, just for expedience sake. Court is not free or cheap. Vickie Lopez thought it was funny that Fleas thinks she can spill all of her proof to the BK trustee, as will all others, about how awful JH is. When is she going to get it through her head that JH is not the one on trial? Claire McLeod, Vickie Lopez, I do think though anytime Fleesa speaks ill of JH, she is still spreading seeds of hate. If someone told me something bad about someone, I might see that person in a different light. I hope every time any of the anti-what the Hales do that, they would be shut down immediately for the reason you stated. Terry Lee's, Vickie Lopez, this con has gone on a very long time. The antis have raked in a lot of money, support, and fame, all while they run their mouths and keyboards. They promised proof that never materialized, only twisted past and current events. Cons have an expiration date. These fools refuse to acknowledge that completely. Totally ignoring all the warnings Jeremy gave them, ignoring the enormous amount of evidence he was collecting/showing, and ignoring all the other content creators' evidence and timelines. I honestly don't think the antis can sue each other. I think there's too much evidence of conspiracies and possible wrongdoings, the dirty hands issue. We will have to wait and see. I absolutely think the crazy and outrageous is getting dialed up to the max. Claire McLeod, when God was handing out brains, some of these idiots thought he said pains. So they told God to spare them. Vickie Lopez, Terry Lee's, it's funny that they all claim JH is doing it for the views, but let's see. Majority of the time he only spends 1 hour a week. Unless there is breaking news, then it might end up 2 hours in 1 week. Then you have Fleesa, she spends 5 hours 6 days a week, and no one on the anti thinks she's doing it for views. John Kosaiba, wow, that Karen has nothing better to do. LMAO bankruptcy court is so much different than regular court, and there's a reason they brought in Shock. It's because he knows everything about this case. These people have no life, they're old, bitter troublemakers, whose family doesn't even like them. Scott Lori Moore, what they don't realize is Randy knows where all the bodies are buried, so to speak. Anybody else would have to be caught up. The bankruptcy court doesn't want to fool around with this any more than they have to. Jimmy Walker. There's no chance in hell that the trustee hired Mr. Shocket. First of all, he would have to jump through so many hoops just to be thought of, and since he is part of the lawsuits, he will not be able to be hired. In my opinion, this is all bullshit for content. Vickie Lopez. Why wouldn't the trustee? It's not uncommon for the BK to do this, and most likely the trustee is already aware Randy has most of the info already, and what he doesn't have he has knowledge of and can then request it. Jimmy Walker, Vickie Lopez, plain and simple, he's too entwined into other cases against Michelle. It's a conflict of interest, plain and simple. Vickie Lopez, Jimmy Walker, it will depend on the scope that the trustee is going to allow Randy to do, and if it's only financial then there is no conflict, as Randy already has a limited access to LP Financial because of the Fed court case. The courts will allow him now to look to see where all her finances came from. Paula Fader Broadworth. Does she realize if Dan Owens were to get involved in the federal bankruptcy, it wouldn't help his case and show more of how he interfered? The anti-Hales all missed out when the common sense train came through because none of them have any. Judith Vaughn, Hell and Highwater, is one of their most staunch but confused bottom feeders. Eva Solomon, the trustee hiring Randy, will speed things up a lot as he has everything in the way of evidence against LP, which will save time and money rather than bringing in a fresh face to start from scratch.